Today we're checking out the animated evolution of Godzilla. Here we go.
By atomic bombs, Godzilla has lit up the silver screen. But his looks seem to be ever-changing.
Okay.
Starting with the original.
This guy-
Let's go through his theatrical looks and story.
Bro, he was
Animated.
cursed. It's
In
like
his
he's a
first ever
baby.
appearance, Godzilla has small arms, thick legs, and dorsal plates down his
He's
spine.
like a T-Rex.
His pupils are tiny, and he has fangs
Ugh.
and pointy ears. After attacking Japan,
He's
he gets
not that tall.
disintegrated to bone.
Oh.
A new Gigantus, Godzilla, appears in Godzilla Raids Again. This monster is thinner, with longer arms,
Thinner?
a smaller head, and larger pupils.
Oh,
When in
nice.
close-ups, his teeth appear to be jutting out.
He actually isn't that
Sadly,
scary.
He's buried in ice.
Wow.
But in King Kong vs. Godzilla, he busts free.
Oh.
He's now in color, is more plump,
Ooh.
toeless, and has a lizard-like head with yellow eyes.
Bro, he be
no
fat
ears
now.
and no fangs. He faces off against a giant ape,
King Kong
tumbling
looks
into the ocean,
cursed.
only to be washed ashore in Mothra vs. Godzilla.
Oh.
Now he's slimmer, has a wider head, white eyes,
Bruh.
and smooth, shiny
What happened to his
brows.
cheeks?
As his rampage
What?
continues, he gets covered in silk and again drops
Ugh.
into the sea.
Ugh,
But
gross.
in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, he's back.
Whoa.
Now with a slimmer face
Bruh.
and longer tongue.
Why is he
In this
always
film on in
different?
the original series, Godzilla now defends humanity from more evil monsters.
Oh, that's
in
nice.
Invasion of Astro Monster, Godzilla
what?
is thinner. His dorsal plates have more definition.
Invasion
His
of
claws are
Astro
dull,
Monster?
And his head is rounder. He shows off his new dance
Bruh.
moves before briefly
Dang.
being put under alien mind control.
What?
Ibera, horror of the deep, gives Godzilla less angry brows. He battles against a big
He's happy
lobster
now.
and narrowly escapes an exploding island.
Bruh,
In the
what?
sequel, Godzilla's neck is elongated. He's
Ugh.
pudgier, and his dorsal fins are flimsy looking.
Bruh,
his nose
what?
is also stubbier, and his eyes are bugged out.
Ugh,
And
ugh.
he's now raising a hideous son.
Oh, that
in
is
Destroyer
cursed.
Monsters, he's slimmer, while his face appears more like it did in Astro Monster.
Oh, there we go.
He's put under alien mind control again. But
Bruh,
once free
what?
of their control, he turns on them. For the next
Oh.
3 sequels, his look remains consistent.
That's
In
good.
the first, he helps his son face off against a bully.
Oh, bruh.
However, this all takes place inside the dreams of a young
What?
boy, so...
What?
Moving on.
What is the
Next,
plot?
in Godzilla vs. Hedorah, he opposes a pollution monster. And when curled up like a shrimp, he can now fly backwards.
What?
In Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla has gained the ability to speak, while his suit,
hello.
skin, starts ripping during his triumphant battle.
Oh,
he
no.
appears slimmer in Godzilla vs. Megalon, with a shorter neck, soft bright dorsal fins,
Wow.
and a round pig-nosed face.
Ah.
He boasts a long-distance dropkick. But
Oh,
this movie
ooh.
is mostly about
Oh.
a size-changing robot. So
Dude, that
let's
is
keep going.
that is sick.
In the next 2 films, Godzilla has an angrier expression
Eh.
and more detailed muzzle. He uses a magnetic upgrade to protect an ancient god from
Bruh,
Mechagodzilla.
what is that bunny
and in
one?
the sequel, faces him once more.
Oh,
but
the
this
rip
time
Mechagodzilla.
Godzilla is sent to retirement.
Yay!
And 9 years later, a reboot Godzilla appears.
It's
this one's taller,
1984.
has larger dorsal fins, a 4th toe, and his fangs and ears make a return.
Whoa!
Although his reign is short-lived as
Oh.
he trips into a volcano.
Oh, bye-bye.
Only to explode out in
Oh,
the sequel.
bruh.
He has a smaller head, a more muscular build, larger
Ooh,
outer fins,
he's
and
getting
a cat-like
stronger.
face with a secondary row of teeth.
Dang.
He takes on a giant plant monster
Oh,
who gets
bruh.
turned into glitter.
Bruh.
In Godzilla vs.
What?
King Ghidorah,
There was a
his
face in
original
there.
form, the Godzillasaurus,
Oh.
is taken out of the 1940s and exposed to modern-day radiation,
Bruh,
turning him into a
excuse
taller,
me?
muscular, and angrier-looking
Dang.
Godzilla. Fights Mecha King Ghidorah,
Mecha
and then gets
King
dumped into
Ghidorah?
the ocean. In
Ooh.
Godzilla vs. Mothra, he's thinner. His
Okay.
dorsal plates are rearranged, and his neck is more ribbed. His head is
Dang.
flatter, and he has golden eyes.
See, he's getting
he battles
stronger.
against Mothra and Batra, and once again is plunged into the ocean and locked in by Mothra's magical power.
Why is Mothra
But
so
somehow,
OP?
in Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2, he's back.
Ooh.
He has slimmed down shoulders and slimmer legs. He's also
this is like the
raising a
4th
blue-toned
time.
baby Godzilla.
What, excuse
this
me?
time he's defeated when his butt brain is destroyed.
When
but
his
he's easily
butt brain?
revitalized just moments later. Godzilla
Bruh.
vs. Space Godzilla features the bulkier
Space
original
Godzilla?
with less detailing in the neck and larger eyes. Godzilla
Wow.
Jr., who is taller and chubbier with a greener color scheme.
Ugh.
And a large flying blue crystallized Space Godzilla.
What?
Ooh, he gets obliterated. In this timeline's final
Bruh.
film, Godzilla is glowing orange, and his son now looks more like a hunched version of his father. When
Okay.
the original Big G has a meltdown,
Oh,
his
no.
son absorbs the radiation and turns into the new Godzilla
What?
ready for action. But the series would be continually rebooted, dropping him
bye-bye.
altogether.
Bye,
The first
Godzilla's
American
son.
Godzilla appears as a large mutated iguana with blue
Wow.
dorsal spines and a hanging dewlap.
Yeah.
This Godzilla also has hundreds of tiny raptor-looking offspring.
That doesn't look like
But this happy
Godzilla.
family is easily taken out by basic explosive.
America!
Japan, in Godzilla 2000,
He's
he appears
back!
shorter, with green jagged skin, sharp purple spines,
Oh.
and a reptilian-looking face. While he's nearly swallowed whole, he's good to go for the next reboot, Godzilla vs. Megaguirus, in which he's lighter, with a longer neck, and smaller mouth. He defeats
nice.
a giant flying insect and is then sent into a black hole.
Excuse
In Giant
me?
Monsters All-Out Attack, Godzilla is formed by the ghosts of vengeful World War II victims.
What?
He has smooth charcoal-colored skin, white dorsal fins, and a hunched neck. His
That's
face
a bit
is
weird.
less lizard-like, with pure white eyes and no ears.
Oh, that's
But this
scary.
Godzilla is mutilated by a drill missile, leaving only his
okay.
beating heart behind.
Okay.
The following reboot, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, re-adds the jagged design elements and
It's
introduces a more
Mechagodzilla.
wolf-like face. In the climax, he's blasted by a beam, adding a visible scar to his chest for the sequel,
Oh,
Tokyo SOS,
dang.
in which he's covered in silk and again flown into the bottom of the sea.
The silk is
Godzilla
OB.
Final Wars features a taller, smoother, and more
Dang.
slender Godzilla with longer ears
yeah,
and
he's
red eyes.
slim.
This Godzilla fights against a multitude of creatures,
Dang.
including an upright standing 98 Zilla.
Oh, bye.
Then he and his
Bye-bye.
hideous son head back to the ocean.
Ugh.
In Shin Godzilla, he's first shown as a light-colored and armless creature.
Ew,
but quickly
gross.
evolves, growing tiny arms and becoming more red with bloody accents. His massive mane
Ew.
form is darker with a
that's
much
gross.
longer tail
No,
that has
that's
a little
gross.
face on the end.
Ah.
His jaw can unhinge and split apart.
Ah.
He has a variety of handy new skills.
Yikes.
He can also apparently reproduce human hybrids from his tail tip.
What the
but he's given a
barnacles?
freezing agent, ceasing his evolution.
What?
The anime trilogy depicts a muscular,
Dang.
rounded Godzilla with a
Ugh.
tree bark-like texture.
Bro, look at that dude.
19,000 years later, he sports beard-like spikes and grows to his largest on-screen size,
Wow.
easily allowing him to become the ruler of Earth.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, back in 2014, a plump American Godzilla appears.
Oh.
This titan has jagged dorsal plates,
America.
wide elephant-like feet, and noticeable gills.
Dang.
He comes out of hiding to stop two hideous star-crossed lovers.
Oh.
In Godzilla, King of the
Oh.
Monsters, he's taller and beefier. His lower half looks
Dang.
less stubby. His tail tip is more blunt, and his dorsal fins are less sharp and artfully glowing.
Ooh,
Later,
that's
he's
very
given
nice.
extra radiation, and after ashes rain down on him, he
What?
gets a fiery new look and power upgrade,
Ooh.
helping him to retain his kingly crown.
That's my boy. That was really interesting. Now, what about King Kong?
King
the
Kong
big
is
man.
the most recognizable ape in
Look
movie
at him.
history. But just how has he evolved in his near
Ooh.
century on film? From the 1930s
Yeah.
to the modern day.
That's a big
Let's
difference.
Take a look at the big ape's evolution.
King
Animated.
Kong.
In his original film, King Kong has constantly shifting fur all over his
Ugh.
body, minus a hairless chest. He
Okay.
has a prominent brow, flared nostrils, and sharp canine teeth.
Wow.
He also sometimes has a longer face and a more bare chest.
Okay.
And in super close-ups, his face appears whiter with smaller features.
Okay.
He's forced to become a theater attraction.
Oh,
But
no.
he escapes, snags his special lady friend, only to be shot down from the
That's a-
Empire State Building.
that's a
In the
classic.
sequel, it's revealed Kong had a son. He's
There's
much
a
smaller,
sequel?
has all white fur, and a much happier face.
What?
Although to save the life of a shady movie producer,
Aw.
this ape sacrifices himself in flooding water.
That's so
in
sad.
King Kong vs. Godzilla, Kong has reddish fur, with bald patches on each of his pecs,
Kong-
prominent
ugh.
cheekbones, thick eyebrows, and is much taller than most
He looks
iterations
like-
of Kong.
he looks
He's
like
apparently
Bigfoot.
supercharged by lightning, which he
Whoa.
uses to fight a radioactive monster, both tumbling into the
Whoa.
ocean. The first animated series features a more quadrupedal standing Kong
Ah.
with brown fur and stylish hair.
The
This
King
ape
Kong
also
show?
has a best friend, Bobby, with
What?
whom he goes on adventures. Additionally,
Excuse
this
me?
show features the evil Mechana-Kong,
Oh, no.
a robotic Kong operated by the dastardly Doctor Who.
Doctor
In King Kong
Who?
Escapes, Kong is less than half the size of his King Kong vs. Godzilla counterpart.
Wow.
His head is bigger, with larger facial features.
looks so
and he has
goofy.
longer arms and shorter legs. This film also features its own Mechana-Kong.
Oh, bruh,
equipped
what is with
powerful light bulb
robot
eyes
versions?
and a utility belt full of grenades. Although the
what?
second version of him lacks the belt,
He's like
but does
Batman.
have a hypnotic light on his head to help him fight against the OG Kong.
that's
The
pretty cool.
1976 remake Kong has dark fur and skin,
Ugh.
a small muzzle,
That's
and
creepy.
noticeably human-looking eyes.
Ah.
His face also occasionally looks unrecognizably round.
Yeah.
This Kong is creepily attracted to his special lady friend.
Ah.
And when taken off his island, he is forced to become a mascot for a greedy oil company.
Oh,
But
wow, okay.
He breaks free, scales the Twin Towers, and is shot down, presumably killing him.
That's exactly
But
what happened in the first
sequel,
one.
It's shown Kong is being kept alive in a coma.
What?
This film also introduces a more red-furred Lady Kong, who is used to give Kong a blood transfusion, allowing an artificial heart to be placed inside of him. This time, Kong is a little taller, has longer hair, a more pronounced chest, a longer face, and his eyes look less human. He and Lady Kong run off together, only for the military to shoot him down.
Oh,
But
bro,
before
poor
he
Kong.
passes, he's able to see his just-born offspring, Little Kong. The Mighty Kong features another cartoon Kong with a bulging torso, rounded muzzle, and despite the poster showing him as all brown, this Kong
so
has gray
goofy.
skin and dark fur.
He's so goofy.
Usual, this Kong falls from the tallest building in New York, but this time he gets to survive his fall. Kong in the animated series features a muscular build, a blue-toned coloring, longer arms, and a tiny head. Although in his final outing, his look would be more streamlined with a larger head. Notably, this Kong can
so
meld
goofy.
minds with his human brother, which boosts his intelligence and allows him to double in size.
Excuse me?
The 2005 King Kong looks largely like a silverback gorilla, with noticeable scars and large protruding teeth. This Kong is easily entertained.
That makes more sense.
Much like his original counterpart, is no match for bullets and a 1,400-foot fall. Kong,
Rip
King
Kong.
of the Apes, features a more stylized young Kong, who then grows into an adult. In the second season, he's given a slight redesign with pinker skin. This Kong wears laser-proof arm bracers and occasionally rides a giant jetpack.
Excuse
In
me?
Kong Skull Island, Kong has
Who is
great
this man?
posture. His fur is light brown, and he has prominent scarring on his chest.
Wow.
This Kong defends his island's visitors from his unruly neighbors. In the follow-up, Kong is much larger, has darker fur, and a
Godzilla
salt and
versus
pepper
Kong.
beard. He also now yields a fancy dorsal fin axe
guys,
to help him
smash.
face off against the king of the monsters.
Smash like and
Only
subscribe
to
if you've
team
seen
up
this.
And take down an even greater threat.
Wow.
Proving once and for all that Kong really is the king of the apes.
That's my boy. Guys, smash like and subscribe if you love Godzilla and King Kong, and I'll catch you in the next video. Blocky!